Well, hi, my name is Ted Slipchinsky, and this is Something to Say, and this is the program where we interview people who are having extraordinary spiritual experiences. And today I have the pleasure of introducing James K. Newman, and I read about his experience online. I thought it was really fascinating, and he agreed to come on this show. James lives in Fort Lauderdale. He's about 2 miles from the beach. He is a chef and has a meal preparation and delivery service, which he runs out of his home. And by the way, he posts these amazing looking lunches and dinners on Facebook, which get me salivating. He also has an outdoor space where he creates small dinner parties for up to 10 people, and he prepares foods from all over the globe. When he's not cooking, he's in the water. He loves to swim and was formerly a competitive swimmer. Now he just does it for fitness and for relaxing. So welcome to you, James. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Ted.
I really look forward to hearing about your experience. I read about it, and let's get right to it. You back in was it 2005? You were in really bad shape. And you had, I guess, the first of what you call partial transition experiences, because you say there is no death. I agree with you. It's a shift in consciousness, so you don't like to use the word near-death experience, although it is what other people would call a near-death experience. Yeah. And they were pretty fascinating and pretty unique. So if you could take us right into that place. In 2005, it was a couple of weeks before you went into the hospital, and what happened?
Okay. Well, I was out in Hawaii on the Big Island, and I'd been living there for almost 2 years and just started to become ill. Really not sure what was going on, basically felt anemic. And at that point, I started doing some acupuncture and some different things, and really nothing worked. The situation progressed. And after about 2 months, I was hospitalized. After being hospitalized, things really, really quickly went downhill. Within a matter of weeks, I was from a living human being to then transitioning partially. As far as the experience itself, there was basically no life left in my body, Ted. There was just no energy, no life energy, no anything, no thought processes. It was just as if I was just there, waiting for something, waiting for a moment for things to take place. And I went out. The only way I know to express it is just I went out. I left my body. And after a time, I came to a place where everything was blue. Yeah. And I think that blue, because to me, one of the best places to be is in the ocean, in the open water. Okay. I felt that immense peacefulness, that immense calm, where there was none of the stresses and the strife and the weight of this state of being here. And things that were important that took place there that were significant was, most importantly, I knew I wasn't there to stay. I knew that there was a very profound transition taking place. I needed to be out of my body for that time, but that I would be going back. I've heard other people speak about their experiences, and they would say, oh, well, I wasn't sure. I didn't think I really wanted to go back, but then, maybe they got a sign from someone. I knew from the time I arrived there that I would be returning. And the things that I saw there were more energy fields that had shapes that you could recognize. And it felt to me as if there were children there, and then there were adults there. There was a little bit of everything. It was a place where it felt that everything existed at the same time, and the important thing was that it all existed in harmony. That immense love that I don't know that, at least for myself, that I've ever felt here on this earth. that it is just a love that is equal to all and equal for all. And I was there for a time and then returned to my body in a very like flash type of moment, because I was awakened, and when I was awakened I was there in the hospital and I was immersed in a bed of ice.
Oh.
Because my body, every aspect of my body had shut down. I had, from what I learned later, a fever of almost 108, and they thought the brain was just basically frying.
Oh.
And when I started talking to them about what I was experiencing during that time when I was in that bed of ice, they literally thought that my brain had fried. Because I went on extensively about what I was seeing and what I was feeling, and no one there had ever had that experience of anyone coming back and talking about those things.
Now, you shared with me something really fascinating I've never heard before in an NDE, that you shared you had an experience with a whale, a mother
Yes,
whale. Was that
yes,
like prior to this?
yes, that was,
And
that was.
would you like to share that one too? Because
I would love,
that
I
was
would love
amazing. I
to.
thought that was amazing.
I would love to. I think that I feel that I also had a partial experience, transitional experience, about 2 to 3 weeks before I went into the hospital. As I said, I was receiving the acupuncture treatments,
Hmm.
and the very last one that I received before I went into the hospital, I could barely walk up the stairs. There was no strength in my body. There was really no will in my body anymore.
Mm.
And I got there to the office, and the assistant immediately called me in. And I laid down on the bed where the acupuncture was done. And even the friend that did the acupuncture, he began to speak to me. But it was as if I was over here, my body was there. I could hear him talking. I could sense, I think that's more the correct word. I could sense him talking, but really didn't get what he was saying. And he started to apply the needles, and he started in my lower stomach. And within seconds, it was the same situation as in the hospital. I was just gone. I was just gone. And when I came to this place, this state of being where I was, all I remember first was feeling very warm. But the most important thing, I felt safe. And because of a lot of the events of my life, I don't know that I have ever sensed that distinct feeling. After what seemed to be a couple of minutes, I started to move, and there was this very gentle pressure, like a push. And I moved, and I moved, and suddenly, there I'm feeling myself, but seeing myself coming into the water. And I'm a little baby. I'm this little infant child in the water. And then I see the whale, and I feel that it's my mother. And I felt safe, I felt warm, I felt secure, I felt surrounded by love. And then a couple of seconds later, out comes my brother, another little whale. And there, my brother and I swam through the ocean alongside of our mother. And the message, of course, not in words, but more in intent, came to me. You've just been reborn.
Uh,
You are coming around a second time
yeah.
to pass through many of the things that you passed through before, but now with the adult James
I want.
to see and go through those things again.
Yeah, I want to get into that because that whole idea of being what you describe as rebooting yourself is very
Yeah.
interesting to me. Before I do, is there anything you want to say any more about the NDEs, either the one with the whale or the one in the hospital later that you haven't covered? Is there anything else?
No, unless there is a specific question, I think
No.
that's all.
Well, let's get to this question of rebooting because you said that one of the things you learned from your NDE is that you were going to experience those kinds of the emotions you had as a child and some of the trauma you had as a child, but to experience it from a different perspective. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm very aware of that because we talked earlier. I said how sometimes I'll get different emotions coming through, and there'll be pictures associated with it. And those
Yes.
pictures will be from summer camp or from
Yes.
elementary school or from college. And I think it's times when I had the same sort of emotion. Only now I'm in a better energy to deal with it than I was then.
Sure.
So how exactly does the NDE influence you to reboot, to relive, to transform those experiences?
Mm-hmm. I believe that the NDEs, both of them, gave me the opportunity, and I say you because it can take place for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gives you that very distinct moment of this is where you come from. Now remember,
Mm-hmm.
this is what you can experience where you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that reboot. Let's restart this. Let's get back to start again because this is where you belong. If you because before those experiences in my own conscious thought processes, I kept thinking to myself, this can't be right. I'm not living. Life can't be this struggle and this strife and this difficulty all the time. What's going on? And sure enough, I had neglected myself. I hadn't taken care of my health as well as I could have, and it just all went downhill. But as most things, it's all planned. So I believe that the very distinct thing is that it gives you the opportunity to return to source, return to where we all come from, so you can get that fixed in your I say in your mind, but in
Mm-hmm.
your being,
Right.
so that then you come back and say, oh, okay, that's where I need to be.
Can you
Not
draw on that experience now? Can you feel this the similar kind of energy or inspiration and get it now in your daily life? Can you like draw on that?
yes, yes, I can draw on it, and something very distinct has taken place since we spoke. Um, and somebody was asked actually Sandra G. She's one of the moderators in the group. I spoke with her about something that took place with me. It's part of what I wrote to you about. You can having that memory. It for me, it's easiest to call upon it through sound and through voice. To sit in a quiet place and begin to, I say, vocalize or sing or whatever you would like to do, and just ask for source to come.
Wow. Yeah.
Ask for source to come and allow. For me, singing is like meditation because it clears my mind. It gets all the chatter to stop. And all I think about is, or all I, not even think, all I experience is the tone, the voice that's singing through me, that comes from source. And that's the way I do it best.
Hmm. So people know the group you're talking about is where I met James through, which is the Anita Morjani author discussion group on Facebook. Anita Morjani is a best-selling author who wrote Dying to Be Me,
Yeah.
and that's where I first saw James's posts. Wow. Well, I want to really thank you because I thought this was amazing. I think you're an amazing human being, an amazing storyteller. I mean, in the best sense of that word. And I hope, I think this will, inspire a lot of people, which is what we're hoping to do. Is there anything else you want to add at all in closing?
I just want to say thank you for having me here and allowing me to express these things. And I think most importantly, that anyone listening needs to know is that every single one of us has access to this, has
Yeah.
access to source, because the source of all that is lives within each of us.
Mhm.
It's not that we've gone to the seminar and watched the speaker. Those things are amazingly helpful. But the real answers to the path to source is within us.
Yes.
If we find something, singing, whatever it is you may do, that allows you to clear that mind and ask of source to come to you, it will.
Yes. Amen. if someone wants to send you a message or get in touch with you, how could they do that?
The thing that I'm most connected with is Facebook.
Yeah.
So if they want to look me up, James K. Newman
Okay.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
that is probably the very best way to get in contact with me.
Okay.
I don't look at email much unless someone has said, "Hey, I've sent you an email."
Yeah.
Then I go look for it. But otherwise, Facebook, I'm on every day.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Many blessings.